of ordinary people who believe they have experienced extraordinary things. Some names have been changed for the purpose of this program. When Randy Irvin dabbled in the occult, he seemed to have unleashed dark forces, certain that he was being tormented by vengeful spirits. Randy tried to free himself and to protect his family. He turned to a self-proclaimed white witch, whom he hoped would end the nightmare. But the ordeal had only just begun. Between the world we see and the things we fear, there is a world of possibility. Standish, Michigan, a rural town near the shores of Lake Huron in the American Midwest. These were once hunting grounds for Native Americans. Some of their descendants still believe in the power of the spirit world. With these beliefs comes a profound respect for the dead and a warning. Whoever disturbs sacred burial grounds will suffer the consequences. In 1974, Randy Irvin was 22 years old. He had lived in the area all his life.
I wasn't in college. I wasn't pursuing a career. I was still kind of enjoying my time away from high school, before I really knew what I was going to do with my life.
Randy eventually landed a job with the U.S. Postal Service.
I had very good income at that time. I was looking for a place of my own.
He moved into an old house that his father, Roy, had been redecorating.
My dad would take these houses and refurbish and rebuild and whatever they needed, you know, to bring them up to par to have them ready for rental property.
Hey.
What you doing down here?
The living room floor was sagging, so I had to come down here and jack it up. And while I was digging for these 4x4s, look what I found.
Are those bones?
I think so, son.
How do you think they got down here?
I don't know. This house is over 100 years old.
Think they might be human?
I hope not.
I mean, this could have been maybe a murder, a mysterious story from the past that nobody knows about. So he was wondering if someone was buried here that shouldn't have been buried.
In the search for answers, Roy contacted a local doctor.
So, what do you think?
Well, I think you might have stumbled across an old Indian burial ground. You know, it's quite common.
That it was a common thing to find grave sites like this in Standish pretty much anywhere.
What do you think we ought to do with them?
I think we ought to respect the dead. I'd rebury and be done with it.
And they've got to go back where they belong.
My dad didn't like the idea that this grave site was under his house.
Yeah, well.
We put the bones back in the ground, and we kind of felt comfortable and confident that we did the right thing.
Randy was intrigued and disturbed by the discovery. He developed a fascination with Indian burial grounds and the mysteries surrounding them.
One day on my break at work, I stopped at a bookstore I came across this book on witchcraft. It drew me to it, and my full attention went on this book.
The book maintained that spirits could manifest themselves from consecrated burial grounds. Randy also found instructions for conjuring spirits.
It talked a lot about people that had passed away many years ago and were still caught in limbo, haven't went to heaven. These are the ones they said that you could communicate the most with. And it told me different things that I was able to do, and the one thing that intrigued me the most was to look for buried money.
Randy's relatives had always talked of a family treasure that had been buried somewhere in Michigan.
This book on witchcraft told me that I could conjure up some spirits that would help me find this treasure.
Hey, Randy, how are you? It's been a while.
Hi, Paula. Yes.
I kept this very secret. I didn't share it with any of my friends.
A little light reading?
I didn't tell anybody.
No, it's actually a book from my aunt. She's into this kind of stuff.
I wanted to experiment on my own without anybody coming in and telling me don't do it, or that's silly, or this is dumb. I made a decision that I wanted to do this. It was my personal venture, and I wasn't going to get disturbed in it.
Randy Irvin moved into an old house in Standish,
How do
Michigan,
you think they get down here?
and made a disturbing discovery.
You think they might be human?
He began to research burial grounds and the conjuring of spirits.
That night, I went home and I opened the book on witchcraft. The book told me I had to control the environment. I had to have all noise turned off, anything that would disturb my concentration.
The book instructed Randy to recite the names of 4 spirits.
I read the instructions and what to do. All I had to do was call them out, ask them to come to me.
Anatosa, Lavariki, Corazina, Simosani, appear before me. Anatosa, Lavariki, Corazina, Simosani, appear before me. What is dark, be filled with light. Bring these spirits into sight.
According to the instructions, they were supposed to show up immediately. I expected maybe some voices, maybe writing on the wall. I waited and I waited and I sat there, and after a while thought maybe I did something wrong because they weren't showing up.
The following night,
I started hearing dishes clanging in the kitchen. I started to hear someone walking. I couldn't find anything to attribute the noises to.
the next morning,
Hello?
Randy? It's Mom.
Hi, Mom.
Honey, are you okay?
Randy's mother, Belva, had moved to Mississippi after she and Randy's father divorced.
I'm fine. Seriously, I'm fine.
Something is wrong. I don't know what it is, but I can feel it.
She felt very strong that she needed to come back. It was a clairvoyant
Randy.
kind of a thing. She said, something has happened. I don't know what it is, but I'm going to find out. My mother and me were very close as far as picking up how each other felt.
But something bad has happened.
Tammy Irvin is Randy's younger sister. She was 11 years old at the time.